All right, so we have a number of people on our VIP session. So if you want to turn on your camera, you don't have to unmute yourself until you're ready to actually chat. I see we have, of course, Nikisha and Corey, Laura, Erica. I see David has joined us. David, what's up, buddy? So tell me about any ahas from today's session for any of you.
Okay, so like I was saying, the big thing that stood out to me is you picking your competition for one to see exactly who your target market is, who you're actually going against, and finding out what makes them show up most in the AI searches. So I think that's most beneficial for it because that's basically GEO searching is the same way as we're doing the SEO. So I think getting ahead of it right now is something that we should really learn and really get ahead of and find out really what makes the algorithm pick these things up or pick these ideas up or the names. So that's what I'm really interested in trying and seeing how I can scale against the competition.
And before anybody jumps in to tap into that, what he just said, there was a post that I saw yesterday as well from the CMO. I want to say it may have been of SEMrush or of another platform, and he made the comment that right now only 1% of CMOs are understanding that. I think that CMOs are not understanding the power that only 1% of all these companies are taking advantage. They're saying that only 1% of the companies are starting to act on this. They know it's there, but only 1% is starting to act on this. And it's like before it starts to become common knowledge, this is your opportunity to get ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next? Laura?
I forgot what I was going to say. Give me 1 second and it'll come back.
Okay.
Oh, the I hadn't checked the AI tool in about a month. And so in that time span, that's where 360 popped up, and I had never heard of them before. So
Okay.
so that was really an insight that SEMrush gave me in terms of being on top of the competition. So
Oh, so that
I
was
was
SEMrush that found that for you.
yes.
Wow. Because I thought it was you because I was in there preparing. I'm like, oh, wow, she found the competitor and they're crushing it.
I was shocked. I had to go look them up, and I'm not sure that they're even doing catering. They may be outsourcing it. And then there's a destination management company called 360, and I haven't done enough research to see if those two are the same company or not. But they they popped out of nowhere, and catering is a very fractured market because they're low barriers to entry and everybody thinks they can cook. So everybody starts like, oh, I'll start a catering company. And then they find out how hard it is. So, like, when that number on the bottom says 80% and you don't know who they are, I don't care because the ones that have been there 10 years plus are a whole lot smaller.
Yeah, and you said something that is pretty much relevant in every industry, um, where everybody thinks it is easy to run any type of business until they get into it. So it's definitely in addition to the catering industry, is all these other industries. Take it from someone who coaches a lot of different businesses, where I'm like, well, what did you think this was?
Yeah.
What do you think this was about? So absolutely, but yeah, I mean, and that's great that it picked it up, and this is where AI is a little different than traditional search and local search because as of right now, it's not about local. It probably does some level of localization, but I'm yet to see how we're able to measure that. So it's still kind of treating it to some degree without borders. Um, I will have to dig deeper to determine if I did the search here in New York compared to if I did it in, some in another part of the country. Um, if I still get the same results, I think as of right now, yes. But that's something I would even pose to some of the people that I'm in contact with, including SEMrush.
Well, and with SEMrush, you don't have an opportunity to put in what the territory you're looking for is with this particular tool.
Nope, you don't. And but then if you look at like using the HubSpot tool, you do put in your
Yep.
location, but you're still picking up businesses that are sometimes national or in other areas. So it's still leveraging you for your area. But again, this is where we're still trying to figure out the, and it's going to take a while before we really get a full understanding of how each one of these tools determines how you show up. Okay, who's next? And I'm talking about ahas that may have come through here. David, anything, any thoughts? Were you on for the entire initial call?
No, I got in about halfway through, so I no, I mean it was good information, but yeah, nothing specific really. I was just trying to keep up.
Sure, sure, absolutely. So is there anything anybody wants me to go pull back up and go deeper into and give more explanation?
Since I would like to see you pull back up on Laura's business
Okay.
and go down to see like the recommendations for her.
Okay. Good. There we go. Let's put Laura on blast and get some insight from her. And we put her on good blast, not bad blast. That's just there's no fun in that.
I'm happy to share.
All right. So move this out of the way. All right. So we're gonna go to Laura. Remember, we're in visibility. Now I mentioned that there was a new thing. So before I do that, this is new citations. So this popped in a couple of days ago, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And basically, what it's doing is it's just showing how many times you were mentioned. So I can't really talk to this yet because I got to really understand what this all this means, and I'll figure it out later. But let's go back to visibility for Laura, and we looked at visibility priorities. We looked at shared voice. So we're in the AI mode, Google AI mode. So if we come all the way down here, here are some of the things. Again, it's giving you uh, opportunities, and it said this is short time frame, meaning how long should it take to implement? Short time frame, medium time frame, urgent. So immediately this has to, even though this might sound cool, we need to read this at least and go. All right, we need to capture staffing and full service event keywords with interactive content. Okay, let's see what that means. Searches for bartending and decor coordination return staffing agencies or national caterers. A la carte cater, a la carte actually provides these, but the value proposition is buried. Enhanced visibility here, Enhancing visibility here can attract higher margin full service bookings. So it says, add an interactive build your event calculator on the site where users toggle food, bar, decor, staffing to receive instant quote ranges, capture emails, and ranking for phrases like full service catering Houston through dedicated landing page copy. Okay? You want to see something really cool? Watch this. I'm going to grab that, Command C. I'm going to come over here. This is what I've been playing with for the last 30 days. I'm going to go to Gemini. And I am going to say, based on this info below, I want you to create a web app for me or my prospects. Enter. It's going to open up Canvas and it's going to code me this thing, and then I can go in and keep changing and updating it until it does exactly what I need to do. So we're gonna wait till it to finish. Okay, so now can you show me the front end? Typically, there should be a button here. So it's redoing it as an HTML app instead of an actual coded app, which I would then need to put somewhere else to build the actual app. So now it's making it an HTML so I can just see the code in real time. I'm still not doing that. All right. So here is my workaround. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to open up text edit. Ask me how I figured this out. It took a while. Okay, so I opened up a text edit. I'm going to convert it to plain text, drop that in there, save it. My app. Let's just put it on the desktop. There's not enough space. Okay, so I put it on the desktop. Save. Now, there's one last thing I need to do. So I'm going to go and I need to convert it to a HTML. So you're not going to see that part because it's on the other .html. So I changed the backend to HTML, the file name. So you see there, I changed it myapp.html. Okay. So now when I click on it, desktop, there's the app. It wrote the, then you enter your name and email and get the quote.
So, can you send me that link, please?
Like AI is no joke, people. Like I created 3 apps that I'm about because I'm building out the survival toolkit. So I realized here's a cool app I would like to create. And then I just went into and I'm like, can I just code it? And again, this is where you're looking at, there was an article that came out and it said that these coders are coming out. They said, start coding for the future. But now AI is disrupting that as one of the first industries. All these kids are coming out and they don't need to code because these AI tools, as long as you know what you want to code, can do this for you. So you click on that, look, estimated quote, add that in your email and you send your quote. Now you can go in here, so I can come back in here and go add a 5th category to my page, and then it'll update this, and then I recopy that, I paste over the old code, and I keep updating it until I get it to where I want it to be. And now you just built yourself your own web app. So my point is remember when I said you can use more than one, you need a number of tools. So it might be asking you to do some crazy stuff, but you don't even, if you understand your tool enough, you literally can do most of that in-house. That's crazy.
That is crazy, and that's amazing. And the other way that I use these opportunities that it suggests is for content creation for both social media posting and for blogging.
Yep.
So, the app, you just totally blew my mind, but it's very helpful for all of our businesses because it tells us what to create.
Absolutely. So again, this is that next level I'm talking about where it's not as difficult. So remember, this said urgent, and understand this could be version 1. It doesn't have to be the big full picture. This is version 1. What you need to do is go, is this it? So let's say the pricing on this is not correct. Well, you go in and you go, I need the food pricing quote to be between this and this. So you take these out and we can see, so it's saying estimated quote between 500 and 1500. You go, I want it to be between 2000 and 2500. So you don't have to go find the code yourself. You just go, please update the food to 2000 to 2500 and just hit enter. It'll do the update. You just have to keep, like, I'm building a very complicated web app for a client of mine, and that's what made me realize I can do this. And then after, when I was going through my own stuff, I was like, let me just see if it'll create this very basic thing. And this is what, and it's supposed to, there's supposed to be a tab here for me to switch back and forth to see it. And for some reason, it doesn't trigger all the time. So I said, how can I need to be able to, so it taught me, copy the code, open up a text app, and when you do it, you need to change the format to make rich text. And then you need to change the N to HTML because it's going to save it as a text. And then when you save it, it saves as an HTML page. Now, if you decide to use this, you can copy this, open up your website, open up a blank page, put yourself a custom HTML tab module on the page and just copy it in there. Now you just pasted the app into a page on your website that you now can link and make live.
Wow.
Okay. And then, of course, you might say, make when they submit the email, have the email go to info@alacartecatering.com. So you don't have to figure out anything, and you hit the enter, so it'll just figure it out to make sure that it just goes directly to her or whoever's supposed to get that quotes at, and then tag it website app. It did all the work for me. So now, is that an actual address, Laura?
No, but it's fine for these purposes.
I was just going to test it, but I'm not going to. I'll send you this code after.
Thank you.
But this is the value. So let me stop with that because we can be here for all day. So I just wanted to show you that next step and how crazy this could be by you taking advantage of. You never would have thought of that, but that's actually a really good idea. And now how fast you can create it in minutes.
Nikisha, I owe you one.
All right.
Oh.
Anything else? So again, we got a lot of stuff here. What do you need to see more of, or did you just get it?
Yeah,
Oh, we got it, Jimmy.
I know I'm gonna be working on this all day tonight, all tonight. I'm gonna be on this all.
I like that smile, David.
I was going to ask, actually, I'd like to just take a quick look at the original request that you made in there to create that app
Oh,
again.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to come back out here. And the original request it was really just one line, and I just copied her stuff. I said, based on this info below, and this is why I like Gemini over most other tools, because I do very little prompting in Gemini and get the most amazing results. I usually have to prompt the hell out of any word or ChatGPT the couple times I've used it but for some reason, Gemini just gets it. I've done $20,000 pitch decks in Gemini on a handful of prompts. So the prompt was based on this info below. I want you to create. So I knew what I wanted to create a web app for me, for my prospects. And then all I did was just copy I copied everything. So I copied the opening part and this part. I could have went deeper and said, and the app needs to do this. I was like, no, I just want you to give me a version 1 and I'm going to fix it. So the gist of the prompt was just this line. Based on the info below, I want you to create a web app for me for my prospects. And then I dropped this in, and this was detailed enough to give it insight to go, what do you want me to create again? So that's it. So I can't find, like, I created three of them, but they weren't because of this. They were for something else. Oh, because I'm building out my next story that I want to get press around. I'm gonna run with the survival toolkit for small businesses. So I took that prompt and then I said, give me some breakdowns on that. And then one thing led to another. I'm like, what if I created an app for each one of these sections that you're suggesting? And I made them three different web apps that are connected together, and they fill out one and that connects to the other one. And then they fill out the second one that connects to the third one. And then it spits out an entire report. That's what I created without knowing how to code. And that will be the tool that I will use as what we to call the now imagine it would have cost me minimum $10,000 just to hire somebody just to try to get it right. And again, that's why, when I read the article the other day, yesterday, day before, they were, these young guys coming out that are coding, they're really freaking out. It is absolutely taking their situation. Now, I have a bit of coding knowledge. Like I'm actually understanding this language because I had to start fixing things. And what this tool does is it does a great job of explaining to me what it did. So you see, it said an updated food service price object. So it's telling me how it fixes things, so I can go in here and find it, and so now I'm starting to learn the code a little bit because I'm going in and fixing things now. But I'm learning as I'm doing. It's crazy. And then I can change the background color. I can do pretty much anything. All I gotta do is go, I like this. So if I update this, let's refresh it. Oh, I have to go and copy the code back into the other thing. Uh, once I do that, then that should update to 2000 to 1500, you know. And again, like, this is crazy. Now I might want to, let's say, Laura, you want to add a drop down for food because they got to answer two questions. Well, you'll just add that because you don't have to figure out how it's done. You might go, there's two questions that need to be answered per drop down that would determine if it's this price or this price. So add that to my app. And then whatever happens, happens. It will create it. And then you just going and as you build it out, you can start to adjust it again. You want to make something that is useful and solves this problem. That gets this, search for bartenders and decor coordinate. Searches for bartending and decor coordination return staffing agencies or national caterers. I still, I'm having a brain fart trying to read that line.
Okay,
But
I have a question for you.
yes,
If you take that code and you put it directly into WordPress, will it pick up the CSS for the site?
yes, because it's converted. It's converted. It's HTML code. So that's why, like, so it might be in a different code. It might be in a different code. So you can say, convert this to HTML code for my website if for some reason you pop it in and it doesn't work. So let's test that theory. Let's grab this code. I'm just going to go to my website. And we're going to put this thing to the test. Let's go here. And pages. Add page. And we're just going to use default editor. Then we're going to go here. We're going to do HTML, custom code. Pop that in there. Save draft. Open it up. All right, moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. There's our app. $2,500. name. Let's put my name in here, Jimmy. Don't you be trying to call me, Laura, because I ain't paying. Just want you to know right now, this is bogus. Be looking for no check. Get quote. Thank you for your submission. A specialist will contact you shortly with the details. So I might, so it's either going to be email. I might even want phone number. So I might say, add a form for phone number and zip code, whatever it is that you want to collect data before they hit that send button. So again, you have full control over this. It's a very simple tool, but it's very useful. Now we're going to place some content around this, maybe below it to say how you use it, what it was created for. So I might say something like this. Let's go back to the app from Google. And I go, this is great. Please give me some copy to market. Copy to add to the page that shows how to use it and can help me show up in search and GEO. Because again, since I'm using the AI tool, it's remember in the conversation and just continuing to build it. All right, so it says it, so it built it into the script. So let's come back over here and copy this. Let's go back into enable, no, edit page. So I was going to just build content around it. So I could say, no, give me the copy independent of the app, but let's see what it did on its own because it embedded it into the app, which is still 100% readable. And I can also say, make sure this says schema markup. All right, so let's go back to return the default builder. Let's grab here, move that, repaste. I don't want to publish. I just want to save draft. Preview. There we go. So we just created a very basic one. I want more stuff in it, but you can see it left some stuff in here. So I'm going to want to remove that stuff. So I would like to see some copy here. I'd like to see some best practices here and some this. So I would probably, and this is where you have to now, where I say AI, human, AI back to human. I want this, I want a bullet point section. I want a comparison chart. I want a frequently asked question. Give me a frequently asked question about this chart. And that's going to be down here. And again, I'm starting to build it out to be AI search friendly. And now this tool should eventually start to solve this problem, which should now start to help me increase my visibility across questions and of course across some of these. It's going to affect some of these here. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Any other ideas? Any other things we could play around with? Somebody get creative for me real quick because I'm feeling it right now.
That sounds like a whole new business, Jimmy, or an add-on. Just right there, what you showed us. You said that you could charge like 10,000 for that.
Well, you
Maybe.
would have paid an editor to do that if this didn't exist. Now that doesn't mean that you can't. They still won't charge you that, and they might use this, but they also have their knowledge as a backup. It's the same way if you ever heard that guy who wrote. This lady asked for a plan and he wrote it down on a napkin and gave it to her and said that'd be $10,000. And she goes, yeah, but it took you 5 minutes to do. He goes, yeah, but it took me a lifetime to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, can it be a business? Understand that every business requires input. So you can't just turn anything into a business unless you're going to commit to that thing. So yes, it could definitely be a business. I don't have the bandwidth for that, but that which is my lane is teaching you how to do this stuff, and you pay to be a part of the membership. That teaches you, and good luck with that. That's my job. That's my role in this whole thing. Okay. So other thoughts, other ideas. Let's jump into, let's look at another part. Let's look at perception and see if we can do something more unique here. Let's say it says emphasize and expand customization and dietary accommodations into marketing. User response consistently highlight the importance of menu customization. Ooh, guess what? I got another idea. Let's grab this, Command C. Let's go back over here to Gemini. I'm going to start a new chat because I don't want to mix this up because I'm going to send this over to Laura. And I'm going to say, based on this, your copy below, please create now I'm going to say comprehensive. But I wanted to really do something exciting. Comprehensive selection process app, web app for my users. I'm going to say to create their own, I got to remember what it was, create their own say dietary menu. Dietary. Now, I would probably spend some more time to really make sure it's what I'm asking, but I'm doing this real quick, and I'm just gonna drop that in there, and let's see what that app would look like. So what it's doing right now is it took a different approach. So what it's doing right now, let's just say, here's a detailed plan for a selection-based web app designed to let your users create their own dietary menus, directly addressing the recommendations you provided. App overview and core philosophy. The goal of this app is to empower. So it kind of gave me an outline of what it could look like. Okay, so this comprehensive approach would not only provide. So I'm going to say that's great. Now, because Canvas is where it starts to build apps or it does coding. Okay, that's great. I now want you to build me a version 1. That's it. So it's saying the version 1 of, so it's giving me an MVP. We learned about MVP already. But it's still not doing what I wanted. So I'm going to say, please provide the HT code for this so I can add it to my website. Let's see if it finally triggers and goes over to Canva. All right, so it just created that. It just created the actual code. All right, so let's copy this and see if it did what I needed it to do. Let's go back over here. We're just going to replace this code. Save draft. Let's update this. All right, so not sure what that was. Let's come back here. I'm going to say do the code in Canvas. please. Unfortunately, I can't directly do the code in Canvas because I am a text-based. So obviously we're having some issues here. So I'll just have to redo this and ask the question properly. So maybe I went too crazy on him, but it should be able to create that for me because I'm literally building out a very complex platform for one of my clients, but not sure why it's not working. So I could do one more thing. Let me try this. Let me grab that code. Let me update that other thing. I just want to do this one last thing and we're done.
I just want to point out, Jimmy, that you notice everything was copied. That copy that you just did.
Yeah. I just went back and just hit the copy button. So that should fix it. But we'll see. Well, let me just I'm gonna copy it over into this here. Let me just see if I did it right. Give me a second.
And you can use this to pre-qualify leads before you even have to deal with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is the new code. So let me save that. And then I'm gonna open up that as its own page and see if that was the issue because I might need to convert it to be placed in a website. So it might have just gave me the actual app. So let me just click on that. Let's see what we got. Yep, there we go. So yeah, so I would have had to convert the code. So it's saying event name, number of guests, and so very basic. So this is just a starting point. So this could be a 3-part tab that you build out that you go, step 1 is create your menu. Step 2 is figure out your budget. Step 3 is blah, 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 blah. So you could create a number of, because that's what I'm doing. I'm creating 3 separate apps and I'm going to string them together into one tool. And now that tool has more value because it's very interactive. And it gives them something so they'll complete it. And then they have, for them to enter their email means that, they want it bad enough because it's 100% tailored to them and their needs. It's no longer
How are
about
you?
you. Go ahead, Erica.
How are you connecting all 3 of them?
Well, I'll cross that bridge when all I'm doing now, because you'll figure out, because if you're mapping out the 3 things you need, then you might come back. And again, this is where you don't have to be the brains. You can just be like, here are my 3 tools. How should I connect them? Still use the AI to help you with the entire process. So you can keep everything under the same under the same thing here. So you can keep everything, build all 3 of your apps under the same conversation, because then it's easier for you to not have to explain to the AI the difference between the 3 because it's already in the conversation. So I could have taken the same prompt and kept it here and go, I now need a part 2 and a part 3. And my goal is to connect them all into one single app. That when they complete one, it opens up the second one, completes the second one, opens up the third one, and then they submit it. And then they get back, and I get the lead, they get this report sent to them. So it's going to take you time. Like it took me minutes to do, but understand it might take you a couple of days to build it out properly. Because now it'll create something fast, but now you're looking at it going, I can do better. Okay. So, all right. Any more questions on the AI side of search? I think we went down a rabbit hole a little bit. If not, go ahead.
It just made me think I didn't have to use Zapier for it, so that was nice.
Well, it depends on how you build it. If it's a freestanding tool, then no, you don't need to use Zapier, but you got to make sure it works. So you're going to have to figure out, again, I figured out that I could just have it email me directly, so I don't have to connect it to the MailChimp app. I mean, plug in. So you're figuring out how do I make it self-contained. So the only upgrades and updates have to come from you. So you're going to have to make sure you keep access to that code, so it always works properly. If it breaks or if it conflicts with something, But since it's not integrated into anything specific, it should work on its own.
Nice.
You know. But again, this is experimenting. When I'm experimenting now and I'm learning because again, this is that next level. Before it was the ebook. This is the new lead magnet. And here's the beautiful thing about the lead magnet you just created. Nobody else has it. You literally created it yourself. So, so again, I created this ebook, this lead magnet because of my strategy that told me to. I didn't do it because I have nothing better to do and I want to create something that puts more work on my plate. I'm creating it because I'm like, how can I do this one urgent thing? Oh, let me make it an app. And I just showed you how to use a tool to make it an app in under a minute. So now these other things don't require an app. They might require this one requires a website refresh. This one talks about market, a la carte events and catering as an end-to-end planner, not just food provider. So this could be updating copy. This could be running a series of social media, organic and paid ads over a 30-day, 60-day period of time. This could be, I got 3 upcoming podcasts. Let me use that as my call to action type of scenario. You fit this into your overall strategy. You at all times should always have some marketing strategy going on for your business. It doesn't have to be that you're spending money. You just have to be doing something that's always marketing your business. Wow, you guys are quiet. Making me feel uncomfortable over here.
What do you expect after that, Jimmy?
We're still processing. I'm still downloading.
Okay. But it comes back to, and this goes back to Nikisha, because Nikisha's great at posing this one question to me. What do I do next? And as I mentioned before, you just need a tool that's going to give you this enough insight so you can decide, well, where should I go? There's no way around not investing time in understanding the tool in the first place. And that's what I'm hoping this 6-part series is going to do is just, if you do it with me, then you are investing the time in understanding the tool enough where you can actually use it. Now it becomes second nature. This tool in itself is second nature to me. It was not 3 or 4 years ago when I started using it. It's running certain aspects of your business is now second nature to you. It was not when you started. That's the mentality you have to adapt here, where there is no way around investing time in learning something new, especially at this magnitude. I think Laura has done an amazing job of adapting technology and understanding this. She is now spending a lot more time in this tool and doing things because of it. And she is seeing improvements. I mean, she's doing great on a lot of these. Look at this competitive. Look at her. Look at that. 87% Google AI mode in regards to perception. We go back to visibility. This is a pretty big feat to be, even in position 3 or 4, to have 6% of the market. That's huge. 6% of the market for a specific AI tool. So that's a good starting point. And now the question is, how do I continue to build on that? And one thing I mentioned about in the live call was you can export these out so you export each one and then you upload all 5 of the reports. You export a report for Google AI mode, you export a report for Search GPT, you export a report for Chat GPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. You upload all 5 back in and go, based on these reports, give me the top 4 things I should do across all the platforms. So, so again, you're using a Gemini or Chat GPT or or whatever your AI tool is, to simplify all 5 reports, to go, just give me something that can kind of work across all of them. And then you do the work, and then you wait and measure and see how it affects all of them. Because it's obviously going to do wonders for a couple of them, but it could possibly do wonders for all of them. Just like 360 Catering Event, they're crushing all 5. So they're obviously doing something well. Now they're on my radar. So I would be pulling up their site, looking at their promotions, monitoring their social media channels, seeing if they've got any press. Let's put up 360 Catering and Events. So you said you couldn't find the actual website, right, Laura?
I There was a website, but I'm not sure if the company is related to a different one called 360 Destination Management.
I'm thinking it's got to be these guys in Fort Worth, Texas.
All right.
So let's take a look at them. So what I would be doing is I'd be grabbing them. First of all, I'm looking at this site. We got wedding occasion, corporate events. We got catering menus. So do you have menus on your site, Laura?
Kinda.
Kinda, exactly. So let's click on here and see what they are. So it looks like, all right, so they got some buffet. They got some breakdowns here. Let's see what this button does. So they got a little pop-up here. So it looks like wedding. So they got name, consent. So it looks like they can download the menu. So it's interactive in that way. So again, you have to still do traditional stuff to get a deeper understanding. So now what I would do is I would drop them into SEMrush to see what their traffic might look like. I would drop them, I would go to their social media channels. So I go all the way to the bottom, typical, and I make sure I open up every single one of their channels. So you're going to do some real research to go, all right, what are they doing? There's got to be something here. I might open up Crunchbase. They're probably not in Crunchbase, but if they were, I might see press releases. Something is giving them that visibility. So we want to know what it is. So you uncover everything about this brand. In addition to, so of course they're not in Crunchbase, and I went there for a specific reason, but then I might come back to the search and go, event, press. Just to see if anything actually comes up. So it may turn up nothing, but you're trying to find out as much as you possibly can. 360 catering event for sure. Okay, open that up. Biz Bash 360 catering events. That's probably that's more or less going to be a citation, meaning they're on this. It says directory, so they're in a directory. That's a citation. Yelp is a citation. Yahoo Finance. So that's going to be a possible story. So a little under 1,000 likes. I'm not signing in there, of course. But you get the idea. The key here is you're going to leverage stuff you find here on them, but you're also going to have to do some traditional search. Look at their site, look at their pages, look at their posts. Now, I could pull all their stuff into social here and monitor it here. But if you don't have access to this tool, you got to do it the old-fashioned way. Okay? Now, what you can do in AI search, because you have the tool, you can just go to their, in AI search, you can definitely go to their, so they're not doing crazy in traffic from an organic standpoint, and that's okay. But our objective is to figure out what they're doing as far as search. So we can, again, go to AI, go to visibility. and just go right to the questions and just start to see what are they showing up for, and then do our search that way. So I think the questions for us are more for us understanding how our competitors are getting so much visibility. So we're looking at the questions and we go over to the 360 catering and we go to them and we make them the focus so we can see all their folks. How can I find a caterer for destination events in Houston? Where can I find seasonal menu catering options? Who provides organic? So they're number one. But what I might be more interested in is their branded, because at the end of the day, the branded is based on I just learned something. So it looks like it's not going to necessarily give me branded for versus not branded for them. It just shows me where they're ranking. It's just going to give me branded and not branded for our brand, if our brand is in here. Okay. But that means you can still come in here and look at this snapshot, finding a catering for destination in Houston. So this looks crappy. So what I would probably do is, this is Google AI mode. So I would copy the question, go to Google, drop in the question, so it gave me some stuff. So it gave me an AI overview, but that's not what I want. I want AI mode. There's AI mode. That's where they're quoted. This should match what you saw in the app. Because now we're officially in AI mode for Google. So look at it. Look who's number 2. Okay. And it's in check their reputation and views, consult platforms like Wedding Wire. So again, there's a citation. If you're not there, you need to be on there. But I'm assuming you must be on there because it pulls you in that category, Laura. Do you know if you're on Wedding Wire?
Yep, we have a directory listing.
So yeah, and how many caterers are probably on that platform?
Quite a few.
Exactly. So how are you showing up? It's a combination of things that are allowing it to pull you as number 2 in that whole thing. And so again, it's pulling some things. So I don't see them here, but the fact that I see Laura here is amazing. Now, of course, they would continue. So this is where AI mode is different from Google, because again, of course, I can continue the conversation. Thanks for that. Next question. But this is how you can kind of validate on the different platforms, depending on what platform you happen to be looking at. If I switch this to Perplexity, the questions are going to change. And then I'll go to Perplexity to see how it shows up. Open this up, go to Perplexity. Drop in the question, enter it in. 2 things happen on Perplexity. And again, it's different for each search platform. It'll give you this thing, so it's going to be different. So you can see the different way that it showed the information. What it's doing is it's citing. So you're seeing cited stuff. Sometimes it don't mention a brand, sometimes it won't. But if I come over here to sources, these are the sources it used to create this. So the question becomes, am I one of the sources? And of the 20, the answer is no. But you can see Reddit, Susan's Kitchen and Catering. So now the question becomes, This one looked like it made it more local to me. So you play around with this, you learn a little bit, you experiment, and it opens up a lot of doors for you to kind of figure out things. But the big thing is if you can get some ideas on what actions to take, then you can create some unique things to help you stand out as a brand against your competition. And I think one of the best things you can do from what I'm seeing, where I'm focusing on, is creating some very basic apps that can do stuff that are interactive, that actually have some level of real functionality to them. So we can go on for days, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna have to end this. So I'm gonna say last thoughts.
This is great. I'm gonna be jumping on this as soon as we get off.
All right, and I'll follow up with you, Laura, with this code stuff.
Cool, thank you. And just for everybody, I like that we show up in other markets, even though the catering is here in Houston, because we have national clients and occasionally international clients. So we continue to pay for a Yelp subscription, which is about $100 a month. So it's not terrible. And that really helps with those rankings outside of Houston when like a event planner in San Francisco is looking for Houston. That's where they'll typically go is Yelp. So depending on your business, it might be applicable for you.
Good tip. Very good tip. Okay, Nikisha, what is it?
So, Laura, you said, because I'm thinking catering company, right? And when I'm thinking catering, I'm thinking a static location and a 10, 12-mile radius. But you said national and international. Do you mean you're positioning yourself so that if someone out of the country is looking for a caterer in Houston, you're able to provide the service, or you have the capacity to support catering nationally?
It's the previous one, and our radius is about 100 miles, so it's actually pretty big. Like
Okay.
we've gone as far as Dallas for a client before, and then Fort Hood and some other ones outside of Houston. So the international ones, or here's a good example. Swarovski is based in New York, and they found us online, and so for 6 or more years, we've been doing all of their Houston catering.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Laura. That's good to know. I didn't think of catering that way. I was thinking, like you said, a smaller area. So we definitely have some work to do.
I'm here to help, as you know.
Thank you.
And that becomes the power of this group as we start to grow it. Just imagine the just the just to feed how we're going to feed off of each other even more. This is, to me, this is what's exciting. This is what we need to do a better job as an organization of promoting this part of the conversation of what we provide is this safe haven to for people to just open up and share ideas, and then you to actually be able to ask a question, follow-up question to go, well, why, how, where, who, things like that. So, okay. Anything, David?
I'm good. Lots of information. I took some notes on the app creation. I've heard about doing it, never tried it, but that was pretty, that was pretty quick. I mean,
It was real quick.
1 minute idea to something, and then you can start tweaking it. So,
And understand, I only learned how to do that 2 weeks ago. So it's new for me, but I'm excited because I see the potential.
yeah.
Canva is also the one that'll do a 7-second video for you based on what on your input.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, so it's amazing. All right. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. And reach out to me if you have any questions. So I look forward to seeing you. Thank you as always, and have a great. I'm gonna post this one if you guys don't mind, because I want them to see what they're missing in the VIP.
Okay.
You know, we're not popping bottles. You know what I'm saying? No sparklers. This is real stuff, people. Things that we can pop bottles with because of the VIP.
All right.
All right, talk to you.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys next week.
All right,
Yep.
bye bye.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys. Take care.